Welcome back to the Masked Reader. I hope we aren't bugging you, but we need your help. Tonight you will see the rest of Group 4 and vote on who you want to move on to the next round.
Hi friends, it's Dragon. Ready to be blown away with some facts about me? When I was a kid, reading was hard for me to get into, mostly because I spent my nights and weekends stomping up on stage at my dance competitions. But I do remember getting dangerously into the Goosebumps series. I couldn't put him down. Since then, I love reading, especially when learning about grammar or spelling. You won't find this dragon using the wrong form of there. I picked dragon because even though they're legendary figures, they're known to have wings and be really brave. And I was always taught to never give up. So watch me and this dragon fly to the top. Vote for me! Hey there! I'm going to read you a story called The Very Busy Spider by Eric Carle. Early one morning, the wind blew a spider across the field. A thin, silky thread trailed from her body. The spider landed on a fence post near a farmyard and began to spin a web with her silky thread. "Nay, nay," said the horse. "Want to go for a ride?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Moo, moo," said the cow. "Want to eat some grass?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Baa, baa," bleated the sheep. "Want to run in the meadow?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Ma, ma," said the goat. "Want to jump on the rocks?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. Grunted the pig. "Want to roll around in the mud?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Woof, woof," barked the dog. "Want to chase a cat?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Meow, meow," cried the cat. "Want to take a nap?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Quack, quack," called the duck. "Want to go for a swim?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Cock-a-doodle-doo," crowed the rooster. "Want to catch a pesky fly?" And the spider caught the fly in her web, just like that. Who, asked the owl. "Who built this beautiful web?" The spider didn't answer. She had fallen asleep. It had been a very, very busy day. I hope you enjoyed my story. Vote for me.
Hello, everyone. Just want to let you know the Ladybug's favorite school subject was reading. And the picture book was Amelia Bedelia all the way. And why did I pick this character? Because I love the way the ladybug looks, and the ladybug is also lucky. Enjoy! Hello, boys and girls. Today's story is Curious George Goes to a Movie. This is George. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. One afternoon, George took a trip into town with his friend and the man with the yellow hat. Look, George, the man said as they walked by the theater, the movie we've been waiting to see is here. If we hurry, we can make the next show. "Two tickets, please," said the man with the yellow hat. As they walked through the lobby, the smell of popcorn made George hungry. But when he stopped in front of the concession stand, his friend said, "Let's find out seats first, George. The movie is about to begin." Inside the theater, they found two seats in front. The man with the yellow hat whispered, "George, I'll go get some popcorn now. Stay here and watch the movie, and please stay out of trouble." George promised to be good. George was enjoying the movie when all of a sudden a big dinosaur jumped onto the screen. It made George jump right out of his seat. George was curious. Was the only one to jump out of his seat? Was he the only one? He looked around. He was. Looking around, George saw a bright light coming from a little window at the back of the theater. Was that what made the movie appear on the screen? Though he had promised to be good, little monkey sometimes forget, and soon George was at the back of the theater. But the window was so high not even a monkey could climb up to see through it. Usually there is a room behind a window, thought George, but how could he get inside? Then he saw a door. George raced up the stairs and peeked inside. He saw a strange machine with two spinning wheels. It was making a funny noise, and it was making the light that came through the window. Now he could see how the movie worked. But when he stepped into the room, George was surprised to see a boy sitting in a chair. The boy was surprised to see a monkey standing in his room. In fact, the boy was so surprised, he jumped right out of his seat and knocked the wheels right off the machine. Downstairs in the theater, the audience began to shout and stomp with their feet. They wanted to watch the movie. But the movie was all over. George felt awful. The movie had stopped, and it was all his fault. "This is no place for a monkey," the boy said, working quickly to unwind George and rewind the movie. "Why don't you wait by that window while I fix this mess?" As George waited, he looked out the window at the audience and the big blank screen. When he moved in front of the light that was coming from the machine, he saw a shadow down below. This reminded George of a trick. He arranged his hands just so, and a bunny appeared on the screen. Then George made a dog and a duck and another dog. "It's a puppy!" someone from the audience shouted. Others joined in. "It's a bird," they said. George made the bird fly away. Then the audience saw George's shadow up on the screen. They were delighted. "It's a monkey," a child yelled, and the audience laughed and clapped. "This is better than a movie," said a girl to her friend. Just as George was about to run out of tricks, the boy announced that the movie was ready to go. The audience cheered, and once for the movie and once for George. The audience was still cheering when the man with the yellow hat ran into the room. "I thought I'd find you here," George said, and he apologized for the boy for the trouble George caused. He did give me a scare," the boy said, "but thanks to his hand shadows, everyone waited patiently for the movie to be fixed." Then the boy restarted the movie. "Would you like a treat for your performance, George?" he asked, and before the dinosaur appeared again on the screen, George and the man with the yellow hat were back in their seats, this time with the popcorn.
Hello, boys and girls. It's Literary Lion here. Are you ready to hear some ferocious facts about me? My favorite school subject has always been reading. Ever since I was a little cub, I've loved to curl up in the corner of the classroom with a good book and read, silently or out loud. My favorite book was The Velveteen Rabbit. I still have my copy. And I chose to be a lion for this competition because they're smart, loyal, and strong. They're the king of the jungle. Can't wait for you to hear my story. Can you guess who I am? Hello, Literary Lion here. I'm going to be reading One Smart Cookie, Bite-Sized Lessons for the School Years and Beyond by Amy Krauss Rosenthal. Let's read. Prompt means when it's time to make cookies, we are here and ready on the dot. Organized means when everything is in its proper place, it's so much easier to make cookies. Unorganized means I put everything away quickly and without thinking last time, and now I can't find what I need to make the cookies. Uh-oh. Prepared means looking at the cookie recipe ahead of time to make sure you have everything you need. Unprepared means going ahead and making the batter only to realize halfway in that you're out of chocolate chips and you don't even have a baking sheet. Uh-oh. Compromise means she wanted to make really big cookies and he wanted to make teeny tiny cookies. So they thought about it together and decided to make medium-sized cookies. It's very smart. Empathy means your feelings somehow came into my feelings, and it feels to me like you could use a cookie right now. Thanks for understanding how I feel. Kindness means giving me your cookie was the nicest thing ever. Thank you. Listening means while you're explaining how to make the cookies, I'm paying real close attention with my ears and my eyes too. Contribute means you don't just sit back while everyone else makes the cookies. Each of us is doing our part and adding something good. Shall we call this chocolate all chip in cookies? Procrastinate means when they told us about the bake sale last week, I could have easily made one batch a day, but instead I kept putting it off. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And now I have to bake a ton of cookies all in one night. Ah! Diligent means without anyone reminding me, I came home each day and worked really, really hard on my cookie project. That was smart. Persevere means we kept trying and trying, even though this new recipe was super difficult. We never gave up, even when we ruined the cookies for the 10th time. Arrogant means, why is she acting like her cookies are so much better than everyone else's cookies? Humble means she doesn't go around talking about how great her cookies are. She just quietly does her thing. These are the best cookies I've ever had. Gosh, thank you so much. Ponder means concentrating and wondering and thinking carefully about what kind of cookies to make for a friend. Dishonesty means, well, no one's around to see, so I'm taking this cookie. Integrity means it doesn't matter whether anyone sees or not. I know inside myself that it's not my cookie to take. I'm glad I left it there, and it makes me feel peaceful and whole. Wow, there's even a cookie recipe at the end of this book. I hope you enjoyed the bite-sized lessons, and I hope you vote for me. Bye!
Hi, boys and girls, it's Dino the Dinosaur again. I just wanted to fill you in that my favorite subject in school was history because you can learn about dinosaurs and a lot of cool other things. Also, I wanted to tell you that my favorite picture book growing up was the Bernstein Bears because bears and dinosaurs go together like spaghetti and meatballs. My favorite is meatballs. And I chose to be a dinosaur because Dinosaurs are really cool, and Jurassic Park is my favorite movie. Hi, boys and girls, it's Dino the Dinosaur here, and I have an awesome story to read for the masked reader. My story is Rosie Revere, Engineer. The story starts in three, two, one. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Lila Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie said shyly, not daring to speak. But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasures to add to her engineer's stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved. And when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they'd never be seen. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair swooping over one eye and made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser, and helium pants. The uncle she loved most was Zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off his head, from parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud. But Fred slapped his knee and he chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of little Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hut and then looked away. I love it, Fred hooted. Oh, truly I do. But Rosie Revere knew that could not be true. She stuck the cheese head on the back of her shelf and after that day kept her dreams to herself. And that's how it went until one autumn day. Her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great Aunt Rose was a true dynamo who worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she had checked off her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. The only thrill left on my list is to fly. But time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dreams. Sorry, velociraptor in my throat. That night, as Rosie lay wide eyed in bed, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat and said, no, not I. But questions are tricky, and some hold on tight. And this one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit the sky, young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. She worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her cheesecopter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The Helio cheesecopter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round, then froze for a heartbeat and crashed to the ground. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned round to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed and her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who thought, "Oh no, never, not ever again will I try to build something to sputter or spin or build with a lever, a switch, or a gear. And never will I be a great engineer." She turned round to leave, but then Great Great Aunt Rose grabbed hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. "You did it! Hooray! It's the perfect first try! This great flop is over. It's time for the next." Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, perplexed. "I failed," said dear Rosie. "It's just made of trash. Didn't you see it? The cheesecopter crashed." "Yes," said her great aunt, "it crashed. That is true. But first it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew." "Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next." She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure can come is if you quit. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rose tied her headscarf round Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. The end. That is all, kiddos, from Dino the Dinosaur. I will see you later, Saurus.
Now we need your help. Please vote for your favorite reader. You have until Thursday to cast your vote. On Friday, we will unmask the readers with the least amount of votes. The rest will move on to the next round.